Another question that a lot of our members have sometimes is acquisition. So either they're acquiring a practice or they're considering being acquired. What do you think gets most often overlooked when an acquisition is happening?
I would say carrier selection is a big one. And I think they take for granted and they'll just credential with everything the seller was in network with. Oftentimes, that's not the best approach. They could be participating with multiple lease networks, thinking they're getting higher reimbursements, but in the end, it's defaulting to a lower fee schedule. And I think the management of claims from going from the old TIN to the new tax ID change.
Yeah, I would just add to this. It's really important. Is people don't realize, and many of you, as soon as you know, partner members probably have office number 1 today. They go to acquire number 2, number 3. What happens on that acquisition? Morgan, that you mentioned. What can possibly overlook? People, many acquirers. Oh, I'm going to buy Dr. Jones down the street, and they do. They go through the LOI phase. They close funding. They close the deal, and then they go. Either internally, they will just do the tax ID change. They'll go ahead and credential, and just kind of like set it and forget it to a certain degree. An additional point that they'll overlook is at that point of that TIN change, at the point of that credentialing change, that new credential, every time you acquire and change tax ID, that is a credentialing event. Not just a credentialing event, it's a fee schedule negotiation event. There are plenty of clients, and we speak with them every day, that feel that, oh, if I just did my credentialing, that the insurance carrier is going to keep the existing schedule in place, meaning from the seller. And oftentimes, you go through that new credential, that new tax ID change, the insurance carrier may slip in a lower paying fee schedule than what the seller had. And if you do that, obviously, now let's say your acquisition was $1 million, and all of a sudden you're paid less, it might be a $900,000 practice. And that is a painful experience. So it takes a very focused team to do it. Our job in that transition, that TIN change management acquisition, is not just do the credentialing, but also examine the seller's fees and look for opportunities to negotiate upon that new credentialing event. Those are a couple key points. The other key points too is the UCR fee schedule. I know you may, Morgan, you may get into that a little bit as well, and Adriana will probably speak at length as well, is when they do that tax ID change, they don't change the UCR fee schedule, that cash paying standard fee schedule. And that's also very important. So there's an opportunity, often we see sellers, they haven't looked at their fees for a long time. They haven't looked at their UCR fee schedule, their standard fee schedule for a long time. And now you've got this new buyer that just does the TIN change and credentialing and forgets it. That's an opportunity to really review who that seller participated with before, why they participated, their UCR needs to be reviewed, and also it's an opportunity for fee negotiation. So your question is a great one because it is often overlooked. People assume that the carrier is going to give us what the seller had. Never assume.